researchers have uncovered what's believed to be Jesus' tomb inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Workmen uncovering the marble slab over the tomb.
For centuries, explorers and scholars scoured the earth, driven by an unyielding desire to uncover the truth behind one of history's greatest mysteries, the final resting place of Jesus Christ. After countless years of searching, their relentless pursuit has finally paid off. Deep within an ancient tomb, scientists have uncovered undeniable evidence that confirms the location of Jesus' burial site. But this discovery is more than just a location. It holds profound secrets that may rewrite history as we know it. What was hidden within the tomb's dark recesses, and what revelations do they hold for our understanding of faith and history? Did they unearth the remains of Jesus himself? Join us as we explore the depths of this sacred site and unravel the astonishing truths that could challenge everything we believe.
The historian Eusebius said he did it to cover the tomb where Jesus was buried.
Let's get right into it. History. Recent discoveries have reignited global fascination with one of the most revered sites in Christianity, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. This historic church, believed to be the location of Jesus Christ's crucifixion, burial, and resurrection, has attracted pilgrims for centuries, reflecting its profound significance in Christian faith. The latest revelation adds a new layer to the already rich tapestry of this sacred site, underscoring its deep-rooted historical and spiritual importance. Situated in the heart of Jerusalem, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre holds a central place in Christian tradition. The New Testament describes Jesus' crucifixion at Golgotha, meaning the place of the skull, an area thought to have been a stone quarry just outside the city's walls. This location, revered as the site of Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, has been a focal point of Christian pilgrimage and worship. Over the centuries, the landscape of Jerusalem has evolved. About a decade after Jesus' death, the city expanded, incorporating Golgotha and the tomb within its new walls. Consequently, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre now stands within the Old City of Jerusalem. Emperor Constantine I, a pivotal figure in Christianity, significantly impacted the site's history. After his conversion, he ordered the demolition of a Roman temple dedicated to Venus, and commissioned the construction of a Christian church at this hallowed location. Building the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was a monumental task, both physically and spiritually. Early pilgrims would ascend from Jerusalem's main street, the Cardo, through a series of sacred spaces, including a narthex, basilica, and garden, to reach the Holy Sepulchre itself. Initially exposed to the elements, the tomb later received protection with the addition of a small structure. This church continues to be a profound symbol of Christian faith and history. The church complex was richly adorned, a fact noted by Eusebius of Caesarea, the biographer of Constantine, and depicted in early Christian art, such as the 5th century artwork in Rome and the 6th century Madaba mosaic map. Modern excavations have confirmed the rich decorations described in these ancient sources, revealing the church's splendor in its early days. A pivotal figure in the church's history is Constantine's mother, Saint Helena. In 326 AD, she embarked on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem, where, according to legend, she discovered the true cross, the cross upon which Jesus was crucified. This discovery, or at least the legend of it, became widely known by the early 5th century. The site of the discovery, a cave beneath the ruins of the basilica, eventually became known as the Chapel of the Invention of the Cross. However, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre has not been immune to the ravages of time and conflict. In 614 AD, a Persian army destroyed the church and took the true cross. Yet, in 631 AD, Byzantine Emperor Heraclius managed to negotiate its return. Despite the Arab conquest of Jerusalem in 638, Christians were initially allowed to continue their pilgrimages in relative peace. But as the centuries passed, the situation became more complex. The entrance to the basilica was converted into a mosque, and in 966, anti-Christian riots resulted in a fire that destroyed the church's dome. Further destruction came in 1009 when the zealous Fatimid Caliph al-Hakim ordered the church's demolition. The church was rebuilt, thanks to the generosity of Byzantine Emperor Constantine IX Monomachos, though with significant changes to its layout, including a new entrance on the south side. This reconstruction attracted pilgrims from across Christendom during the late 11th century, even as tensions in the region grew. By this time, Muslim rulers generally treated Christian pilgrims with respect, but this changed after the Seljuk Turks took control of Jerusalem in 1077. Reports of Christians being mistreated and denied entry to the church began to circulate, fueling the desire among European Christians to reclaim the Holy Land. This desire ultimately led to the First Crusade, a military expedition that sought to regain control of Jerusalem and its holy sites, particularly the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. When the Crusaders captured Jerusalem in 1099, they found the church in disrepair, its roofless state a stark reminder of the challenges it had faced. Over the next 50 years, the Crusaders undertook extensive reconstruction efforts, transforming the church into a grand cathedral modeled after Western Christian churches. The garden surrounding the church became the Crusaders' Basilica, and a separate chapel was dedicated to the Rock of Golgotha. On July 15, 1149, exactly 50 years after the Crusaders captured Jerusalem, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was rededicated. While construction work continued for several years, the church's appearance today largely reflects the changes made during this period. The influx of pilgrims necessitated measures to control entry and movement within the church, evident in the twin doorways that still stand. Finely carved lintels, once passed through by pilgrims, were moved to the Rockefeller Museum in Jerusalem after an earthquake in 1927. Following the Muslim reconquest of Jerusalem in 1187, one of the church's entrances was sealed off, but Christian pilgrims were still permitted to visit. Western leaders sought to negotiate access to the site, which remained under Muslim control for centuries. The site was protected, cherished by those who believed in its significance, until a modern discovery reignited interest in its history. Archaeologists recently uncovered what is believed to be the burial site of Jesus within the church. Inside the tomb, they found ancient mortar beneath the stone where Jesus is thought to have been laid to rest. This mortar dates back to the time of Emperor Constantine, adding credibility to the long-held belief that this is indeed the tomb of Jesus. The discovery sheds new light on the history of the church and the stories passed down through generations about the site where Jesus was buried. It also brings to mind the tale of Constantine and his mother Helena, who, according to legend, uncovered this sacred tomb around 325 to 326 AD. Their search led them to Jerusalem, where they believed the tomb could be found. The discovery occurred beneath an ancient Roman temple, possibly dedicated to Venus, the goddess of love. The uncovering of the tomb marked a significant moment in history. As the temple was dismantled, revealing the sacred space beneath, the tomb itself was exposed, a simple yet profound structure carved from the rough edges of a limestone cave. The creation of the edicule, a protective structure around the tomb, preserved the essence of this divine revelation for future generations. Within the tomb, one feature stands out, a long shelf often referred to as a burial bed. Tradition holds that this is where the body of Jesus was placed after the crucifixion. This simple structure, coupled with the spiritual significance of the site, offers a profound connection to the core beliefs of Christianity. As we delve deeper into the details of the tomb, we find similarities to the burial practices of wealthy Jews in first-century Jerusalem, who often carved tombs from limestone caves, complete with shelves and niches. This shared cultural practice underscores the respect and reverence with which the departed were treated. The tomb, with its burial bed and marble covering, carries centuries of history and devotion. The marble, believed to have been added no later than 1555, connects ancient times with today. Every chisel mark on the stone, every detail of the tomb, tells a story of faith, devotion, and the enduring belief in the significance of this sacred site. As pilgrims continue to visit the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, they are drawn into a narrative that spans millennia, inviting them to connect with the spiritual and historical legacy of the place, where it is believed Jesus Christ was laid to rest. Shocking discovery. Moving forward from the revelations of the Edicule's ancient structure, let's explore the groundbreaking scientific discoveries that have recently emerged. Led by Chief Scientific Supervisor Antonia Moropoulou, a team of researchers embarked on an extraordinary quest to uncover the hidden secrets of the Edicule, the protective enclosure around Jesus' tomb. Their investigations centered on ancient mortar samples taken from various parts of this revered structure. The results were nothing short of astonishing. Through meticulous radiocarbon dating, scientists analyzed samples from different locations within the Edicule. Their goal was to illuminate the age of these ancient materials, which were crucial to the church's construction. The results uncovered a significant historical revelation. The lower slab of the Edicule was likely cemented in place during the mid-4th century. This finding aligns with the reign of Emperor Constantine, adding a profound layer of historical context to the structure's origins. The discovery of Constantine's involvement in the Edicule's construction has far-reaching implications for historians and scholars. It links the sacred monument to one of history's most influential figures, providing a tangible connection to the Roman Empire's architectural and religious transformations. This mid-4th century time frame enriches our understanding of the Edicule's development and its connection to early Christian history. In addition to radiocarbon dating, scientists employed optically stimulated luminescence to analyze the mortar samples. This advanced method measures when quartz sediment in the mortar was last exposed to light, offering precise insights into its age. Samples were examined in 2 separate laboratories, each providing independent confirmations of the findings. This technique was instrumental in uncovering the chronological changes in the mortar, revealing the periods when the structure was altered or restored. One intriguing aspect of this research was determining whether the current structure accurately reflects the sacred site identified by a Roman delegation over 17 centuries ago. Despite some uncertainties, the Edicule remains a powerful symbol of Jerusalem's enduring spirit, inviting ongoing reflection and investigation into its historical and spiritual significance. The analysis of mortar samples from the Edicule's southern wall further illuminated its past. Dating these samples to the years 335 and 1570 linked Roman-era construction with a documented 16th century restoration. This continuity highlights how the Edicule has evolved over the centuries, with the southern wall bearing witness to its complex history. A particularly noteworthy discovery involved the mortar from the tomb entrance, which was dated to the 11th century. This period aligns with the Edicule's careful reconstruction following its destruction in 1009. These findings celebrate the dedication and craftsmanship of those who preserved this sacred space through meticulous restoration efforts. In summary, these scientific breakthroughs not only clarify the Edicule's historical timeline, but also honor the enduring legacy of those who have maintained and restored this sacred site through the ages. The mystery of Jesus. As the sun rises over Jerusalem, millions of pilgrims flock daily to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, drawn to the sacred site believed to be Jesus' tomb. This revered location is meticulously maintained by priests from various Christian denominations, adhering to traditions established during the Ottoman era. Yet Jerusalem is a city rich with historical layers and alternative theories about the true burial site of Jesus. Beyond the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, several other locations claim the honor of being Jesus' final resting place. One of these intriguing sites is the Talpiot family tomb, located approximately 5 kilometers south of the Old City. Discovered in 1980, the tomb gained widespread attention through the 2007 Discovery Channel documentary, The Lost Tomb of Jesus, produced by James Cameron and directed by Simcha Jacobovici. Within the Talpiot tomb, archaeologists unearthed 10 ossuaries, or bone boxes, inscribed with names such as Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Among these, an ossuary labeled Mariamene sparked particular interest, suggesting a possible connection to Mary Magdalene and hinting at a potential marital link to Jesus. Further intrigue arose from ossuaries bearing names like Jude, son of Jesus, and Jesus, son of Joseph, fueling speculation that Jesus and Mary Magdalene may have had a son named Jude. However, scholars caution that names like Jesus, Joseph, and Mary were quite common in 1st century Judea. The presence of these names does not necessarily establish a connection to the biblical figures. Critics argue that the filmmakers may have overemphasized these connections, given that such names were widespread during that period. Supporters of the Talpiot tomb have pointed to DNA testing that reportedly showed no maternal link between Jesus and Mariamene. This claim, featured in the documentary, was interpreted as supporting the theory of a marital relationship between the two. Nevertheless, critics have raised concerns about the possibility of a paternal relationship, such as between a father and daughter or a grandfather and granddaughter. Scholar James Tabor has suggested that the famous James, known as the brother of Jesus, might have been interred in the Talpiot tomb, potentially marking it as a family burial site of Jesus of Nazareth. Chemical tests funded by filmmaker Simcha Jacobovici indicated a connection between the James ossuary and the Talpiot tomb, based on trace elements found in the soil of East Jerusalem. However, some question the reliability of these results due to the small sample size and the fact that the James ossuary's appearance diverges from the other ossuaries found in the tomb. Moreover, scholars interviewed for the documentary, with the exception of James Tabor, have expressed concerns about the accuracy and representation of their statements. Another issue with the Talpiot tomb theory is the geographical discrepancy. If Jesus' family hailed from Galilee, it seems improbable that they would have had a family tomb in Jerusalem. Archaeologist Jody Magnus highlights that during Jesus' era, only wealthy families used rock-cut tombs, and the practice of transferring bones to ossuaries was a later tradition. If Jesus' family was indeed more modest and from Galilee, they would likely have opted for a conventional grave. Furthermore, Magnus notes that the names on the Talpiot ossuaries suggest a Judean origin, where individuals were typically identified by their first name and their father's name, in contrast to Galilean naming conventions that included the hometown. Another proposed burial site is the Garden Tomb, also known as Gordon's Tomb, which gained prominence in 1883 through the efforts of Charles Gordon. This tranquil site, nestled in a picturesque garden, attracts numerous visitors, particularly evangelical Christians, who believe it to be the actual burial place of Jesus. Gordon's theory was based on the tomb's resemblance to a skull, which he thought resembled the head of a human skull, and the site's proximity to the Garden of Gethsemane. However, the Garden Tomb's identification has been marred by questionable claims, such as Ron Wyatt's false assertions of finding the Ark of the Covenant nearby. Moreover, no Second Temple period tombs have been discovered in the vicinity. Archaeologist Gabriel Barquet has dated the Garden Tomb complex to the Iron Age, around the 7th or 8th centuries BC, with an architectural style reminiscent of First Temple period tombs. This timeline contradicts John 19 verse 41, which describes the Garden Tomb as a new tomb where no one had been buried before, ruling out the Garden Tomb as Jesus' burial site. The Tomb of the Shroud, situated in the Kidron Valley, is another contender. Its historical authenticity is debated, but it attracts interest due to its proximity to the Garden of Gethsemane and its association with Joseph of Arimathea. Carved from rock, a common feature of ancient Judean tombs, the shroud tomb is linked to a tradition involving an ancient burial shroud or cloth. While some believe the tomb is connected to Joseph of Arimathea, who, according to the New Testament, provided a tomb for Jesus after the crucifixion, others remain skeptical. Like the Garden Tomb, the Shroud Tomb has limited archaeological evidence supporting its identification as Jesus' burial place. Finally, the Dominus Flevit Church, located on the Mount of Olives, is associated with the burial tradition of Jesus, although it is not widely accepted as the actual tomb. Designed by Italian architect Antonio Barluzzi, the church's teardrop shape symbolizes Jesus' lament over Jerusalem. Situated with a panoramic view of the Old City, it remains a significant site for visitors exploring Jerusalem's sacred landmarks. Adjacent to the church is a rock-cut tomb linked by tradition to Joseph of Arimathea. Although Dominus Flevit is not as renowned as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, it offers spiritual significance and a connection to the biblical narrative. As researchers continue to explore these potential burial sites, each location contributes to the rich tapestry of traditions and beliefs surrounding Jesus' final resting place. Despite the uncertainties and controversies, These sites reflect the enduring quest to uncover the truth behind one of history's most profound mysteries, the sacred sites of Jesus and Mary. The tomb of the Virgin Mary, nestled in the Kidron Valley, stands as a site of great significance for many Christian pilgrims. Despite the limited historical evidence linking this tomb directly to Mary, it attracts visitors who revere her and cherish the traditions surrounding her final resting place. The site is imbued with the stories and respect that have been passed down through generations, offering a profound spiritual connection for those who visit. Just a short distance away, the location of Joseph of Arimathea's tomb, an important figure in the New Testament known for providing the tomb for Jesus' burial, is shrouded in mystery. Various traditions suggest different locations for his final resting place, including possibilities within the Kidron Valley. This ambiguity adds to the enigma surrounding Joseph's burial site and continues to captivate the interest of both religious followers and historians. As these traditions and beliefs intertwine with historical inquiries, the search for Jesus' burial site remains a compelling quest. This journey of exploration is not confined to ancient texts or religious lore, but extends into the modern era, as evidenced by the restoration work undertaken in 2017 at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Revered as the site of Jesus' crucifixion, burial, and resurrection, the church's history is layered with centuries of renovations and changes. The restoration project primarily focused on strengthening the edicule, the small shrine housing Jesus' tomb within the church. Over the years, the edicule had shown signs of wear, with cracks appearing in its marble walls and concerns about its structural integrity. The meticulous restoration work aimed to preserve this sacred site, but it also led to an unexpected discovery. While carefully removing the marble covering of the tomb's inner chamber, restorers uncovered a previously sealed chamber, hidden for centuries. This newly found chamber had been closed off during a 1555 renovation, a fact lost to history until its recent revelation. Though the chamber contained no human remains or significant artifacts, its discovery provided a fresh glimpse into the Church of the Holy Sepulchre's complex past. The unearthing of this hidden space underscored the evolving nature of the church and the layers of history concealed within its walls. This revelation sparked renewed scholarly interest and opened new avenues for research into the church's rich and intricate history. While the Church of the Holy Sepulchre remains a focal point in the search for Jesus' burial site, other locations have also garnered attention. One such site is the Talpiot tomb, located south of Jerusalem. Discovered in 1980, this tomb complex contained 10 ossuaries, or bone boxes, with inscriptions that have sparked considerable debate. Among these ossuaries are ones inscribed with names such as Yeshua bar Yehoseph, Jesus, son of Joseph, and Mariamene Emara Mary, known as the Master. These inscriptions suggest a possible connection to Jesus and his family, fueling speculation about the tomb's significance. However, scholars have contested the authenticity of these findings, noting that names like Yeshua and Mariamene were common during that era. The interpretation of Mariamene Emara as Mary, known as the Master, is also subject to debate. Despite the controversy, the Talpiot tomb remains an intriguing subject in biblical archaeology, contributing to the ongoing exploration of Jesus' life and death. The search for Jesus' burial place continues to fascinate scholars and believers alike, bridging ancient traditions with modern discoveries. Each new finding adds another piece to the puzzle of understanding his final resting place. What are your thoughts on these discoveries? Share your opinions in the comments below.